The most important part of a story is how it ends. The second most important part, though, is how it begins. It's your one chance to get pulled into a story, to get introduced to the world, to let your disbelief get suspended. But it's difficult to come up with a way to kick off a brand new media property every time that not only gets your interest going right away, but also gives the audience a character to relate to. So why reinvent the wheel? In other news, I just washed up on a beach. So it's just like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Actually, I'm not even sure what type of beach start situation this is. Like, it could be a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon thing, but it could also be a Link's Awakening sort of situation. Like, I just woke up on this island, there's a secret I need to solve to escape. It could be your run-of-the-mill Minecraft thing. Like, I gotta go cut some trees down, build some shelter, and then before I know it, I'll be homesteading atop massive underground redstone farms. Oh, or what about Dear Esther? I could go for an extended visual metaphor right now. At this point, it could be anything. Starting on a beach doesn't really lock you into any one particular story, even though most of us would probably most associate it with survival stories. I mean, even Crash Bandicoot starts on a beach, and that game's not even anywhere close to a survival game, unless you're a speedrunner. In that one, the beach is just the first step in a long journey back up to the top. Geez, there's a lot of games that start on beaches, aren't there? I mean, it makes sense from a couple different angles, honestly. Firstly, and probably most importantly, it's just kind of nice. It's calm out here. People go to beaches for vacations, so it's tied to new experiences and relaxing afternoons. But it's a little hot out here, and there's really only two ways to go: along the beach or into the forest. And there's always some sort of forest, right? By starting on a beach, it can be used to set up a narrative really quickly. Like, why am I here? I need to go get food. I should go explore this island, etc., etc. The beach serves as a physical and narrative introduction to a new world. Of course, in some games, it's not that deep. Like Wind Waker starts with Link waking up on a beach, which still serves as an introduction to a new world for us. But in the story, Link's been there the whole time. He just happens to discover himself to be the chosen one to fulfill the prophecy that has detailed depictions of a boy that looks exactly like him. Oh, every coming-of-age Wind Waker boy dresses like that. Yeah, it's still called Outset Island, which if that's not an obvious enough indication that you're the chosen one, I don't know what is. So it's not really any narratively weighted beach, it just happens to be a beach because the game's all about sea travel. But what about Destiny Islands? Now that's an on-the-nose name. That's the island in Kingdom Hearts, which kind of serves as the opposite to Wind Waker in this very specific useless category of starting zones in video games. If the island in Wind Waker serves no metaphorical purpose at all, the island in Kingdom Hearts is just one big metaphor. Everyone keeps returning to the island. It's kind of the only thing that can be described as home for Sora, Riku, and Kairi. And in a game that's all about traveling to different worlds, the fact that every game seems to return to Destiny Islands in some way is pretty telling that this beach carries some sort of narrative or metaphorical weight. And it's a game made so that kids can understand the metaphors, so it's pretty clear that beaches serve a pretty well understood metaphorical role in stories writ large. In games, though, beaches serve mechanical purposes too. Obviously, in survival type games, it has everything you need to start surviving, since beach survival movies have pretty much completely solved that one. But it also makes for a really nice tutorial level, since the enemies on a beach usually aren't too difficult. I mean, you can run away from a crab. Setting your tutorial on a beach kind of carries with it these inherent narrative feelings, like you're starting in this humble, quiet beach, but soon you'll be on your way on a grand adventure. Not to mention, of course, all of the vibe benefits of a beach. They're really easy to set the tone with. You really only need a grainy yellow texture, a grainy blue texture, a white noise generator, some bird noises, and you've got a pretty convincing beach atmosphere. So it's no wonder that Mario Sunshine starts on a beach. Oh wait, did that one start on a beach? Because it has a plane, the plane crash lands. Oh, but it crashes onto a runway on an island resort, which isn't a beach, but it functions as one since it's a new world and Mario gets losted onto an island. It just happens to be different from Lost in that the island is populated and Mario Sunshine doesn't unintentionally end in a way that made people think the whole series was just a dream. Hold on, let's start mapping this out a little bit more. So as far as I see it, there's a couple different stages of beaches at the beginning of games. We've got the beach used as a narrative device to say like, hey, how did I get here? I need to survive, or just generally have some sort of weighty metaphorical purpose in the story. The beach used just because it's a fun or convenient place to start, and then just generally crashing or waking up into a new unfamiliar world with a beach present somewhere in the game. We'll put Super Mario Sunshine in that last circle, and then Wind Waker here and Kingdom Hearts in the center here. Crash Bandicoot will go in the narrative device circle because it's used as the bottom rung in a story about climbing back up to Dr. N's lab, even though it's not awash in metaphors or heavy narratives or anything like that. I will grant it that it still kind of accidentally falls into a narrative model here. Dear Esther and Link's Awakening can both go here. They both definitely use the beach for all of its metaphorical weight. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon can go here too, but only if you don't lie on the personality quiz. Minecraft can go right here, since sometimes you spawn on a beach, but you are always spawning into somewhere unfamiliar, which means that yes, begrudgingly, GeoGuessr goes here too. A couple of classes in World of Warcraft happen to have beach starting zones, so that can go there too. Just for ease of reference, let's do a couple non-games. We'll put Lost here, Castaway here, Inception here, and then Madagascar can go there. Oh, Pokemon Snap starts with a beach level, right? No heavy metaphors or elaborate starting conditions there. It's just kind of a nice place to start. There's like 10 Sonic games that all start on beach levels, which can go there as well. On the opposite side of the spectrum, we've got Death Stranding, which starts on a beach and is incredibly heavy with metaphors, so much so that I honestly have no idea to what extent beaches are important in it. A bunch of CRPGs start on beaches for some reason, which I guess is just part of the genre. Definitely makes for an easy starting zone and narrative jumping off point for all the reasons we've talked about. Almost every single survival game falls somewhere in these circles because there's really no way to start out a survival game without having you start in a place where you don't have access to the things you use to survive. So we got Raft, Rust, The Forest, Ark Survival Evolved, Subnautica, which doesn't have a beach, does have a beach. I'm not sure. If you make the water go down, there's a beach. Valheim, The Survivalists, Discourse, Terraria, DayZ, and that's the Battle Royale games can of worms we've just opened. And we're just gonna put that here, just all together, no further investigation. But there's an interesting through line for these. Do you see it? There's one specific element present in a bunch of these. Oh, no, not planes. But yeah, that is really weird. There's a lot of planes here. No, I'm talking about waking up. In many of these, not only do they start on a beach, but they also start by having the main character wake up. We as players come to consciousness at the same time as the character, so we tend to have the same questions about where we are and why we're here. Plus, the writers can really easily hide what exactly happened to bring the character here and save it as a question to reveal later. In the world of storytelling, there's a concept called the hero's journey, which is this well-documented kind of framework for generalizing a bunch of different stories into one outline. It starts with the character in their regular world, and then suddenly there's like a call to action or an incident that sets the story in motion, at which point the character passes through the threshold and enters what's called the unknown world. By starting your story with waking up on a beach, you skip right into the unknown world, the island you just woke up on, and the story beats try to piece together what incident happened to set the character into this unknown world. It twists the storytelling just enough to make it feel interesting and fresh. Portal does this, for example, without a beach. You just wake up in a room, no prior memory of why you're there, and it's a great way to bring the player quickly up to speed in a admittedly kind of strange sci-fi world. Actually, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild does that too. Both games have you slowly piece together the events leading up to you waking up as the story unfolds. No beach, but it still kind of immediately lets us relate to the main character by having our coming to consciousness start at the same time as theirs. It just so happens that doing it on a beach is an easy way to have this wake up happen. Oh, I guess Skyrim does that too.
Hey, you. You're finally awake.
I really could go on all day about these, but I think it's probably about time to set up some sort of rescue beacon. After all, when you wake up on an island, even if it is really, really nice, eventually you do have to leave it. Unless you're playing Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. You could actually count Wii Sports Resort in that category as well, which makes this the only umbrella of games where these two sit at the same level, which, while we're at it, also includes Rime, Yoshi's Island, Yoku's Island Express, Barbie Beach Vacation, Lego Island 2, Lego Island Extreme Stunts. There's a lot of games that start and stay on an island, actually. Mario Odyssey might not start on a beach exactly, but it does start with Mario waking up after falling from an airborne vehicle. So it's basically just physically a couple miles away from being in the center circle. Oh, there's Pokemon Legends Arceus, which has you waking up in a new world as a chosen one to help with like the weird thing happening in the sky. Oh, and how can I forget about Kirby and the Forgotten Land? That one really hits a lot of the points, right? Like it's got Kirby waking up in a new world, like that's the title of the game. It's a strange story that unfolds over the course. Okay, fine. I'll inspect the weird door, okay? Fine. But I swear, if this ends up being some sort of weird, underground, mysterious, lost plot device thing with an ancient horror we're about to release onto the whole island, it's your fault, okay? Okay. Oh, right. Okay, yeah, okay. It was an escape room.